You want to know what the best thing about Daredevil Born Again is? It's not the story, it's not the actors, and it's not the return of the iconic character. It's the fact it's a real helmet. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about how important this is to fans and the decision of Marvel Studios to move away from some of these nanotech costumes. It's something that's way overdue and a smart move by Marvel Studios. Well, if you're a fan of superhero films, you know there's certain tropes with these movies that sometimes don't make a lot of sense. And one particular trope for a lot of superhero movies is that they always seem to find a way to unmask our favorite superhero. If you're a fan on comics, you want to see your hero masked up. That's how they look in the books. But if the studio is spending massive money on an A-list actor, well, quite honestly, they want to see their faces up on the big screen. Now, throughout time, different studios have done different things to try to accommodate this, and Marvel Studios has given us a decent amount of masked action from their heroes. But quite often in these films, the stars are unmasked, and this is typically achieved at Marvel through the use of, quote, nanotech helmets. This is something we saw a whole bunch in recent years at Marvel. It started with Iron Man, but Spider-Man's costume was definitely made with nanotech. Ant-Man's helmet started to do this, and by the time we got to Endgame, pretty much everybody was using the same sort of nanotech version of the helmet, and is even carried recently into Sam Wilson using one in Brave New World. This is one of those things over time many fans have kind of started to be rather vocal about, and not something they wanted to be the normal in the MCU. The classic superhero cowl is something that's character defining, and often when you mess with this and have characters unmasked too frequently, it definitely takes away from the magic. Using these nanotech helmets makes it super easy for Marvel to go mask on, mask off. But for fans, well, honestly, many of us don't like them. And this is something Daredevil seems to be getting right. Recently, we got a new spot for Daredevil Born Again, and it's pretty clear to me he's suiting back up this week, and I really can't wait. But as we see Charlie Cox's Man Without Fear putting on the superhero duds, it is 100% a real practical helmet. Now, for me and many others, this is a better alternative than nanotech. It just simply looks more realistic. Quite often, nanotech masks, well, since they're CGI'd over the character's head, they sometimes don't have the right scale. And honestly, sometimes they simply look weird. Now when you get to some particular characters, like Daredevil, where you can see part of his face, it becomes even more weird. And the fact that they're going back to using some practical masks and cowls is a huge win for fans. Honestly, I think practical helmets simply look cooler. And the practicality of the mask and the character dealing with the mask and all its bits, well, that's something fans really do enjoy as one of the aspects of superhero characters. Marvel has drifted so far away from this that Daredevil has kind of given them the opportunity to realign. Actually, if you sort of think about it, in Deadpool and Wolverine, we had practical masks there. And in particular, Wolverine's practical mask resonated with fans. So hopefully that gave Marvel sort of the inspiration to move forward with this properly and start doing the masks and maybe even the full costumes as a practical effect. Now, obviously, some masks are harder to do than others. I think of Moon Knight right out of the gate with the way his wraps around his head. But in most cases, the masks really should be practical and work for the character. Now, will we see this for other characters? Well, I don't know. I don't think we're going to see a practical Spider-Man mask anytime in the near future. That design has been so established now by Marvel Studios, it would seem a little weird if they backed away from it. But I would look to many other Defenders characters and the street-level heroes that have very practical accessories from masks to costumes, completely avoiding the sort of nanotech trope that Marvel has embraced, and give us that street level grit and dirt that many fans want from their Marvel heroes. I personally like real costumes over CGI, so it's pretty interesting to me we're trending back in that direction. Sometimes they just simply feel more organic and make the whole project feel, well, more real. If Marvel continues to do this and pull it off properly, that's the big question. So how it works out? Well, we're gonna have to wait and see. Now, before you take off, though, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. We do daily videos, and we want to be your place for all the Marvel and DC news, but we're going to bring it to you truthfully and transparently, so you're really in the know.